Okay, we're now on part 2, April 13, 2010 mandatory staff meeting. The agenda, page 2, number 7. Our sexual harassment policy. For our insurance purposes, everyone here needs to know that no form of sexual harassment is tolerated by Twin Oaks Home Care. This includes physical and verbal sexual harassment as well as sexual innuendos and tasteless or immoral jokes from employees, clients, or their family members. Twin Oaks will follow the disciplinary process if an employee is involved in an incident, and depending upon the severity of the infraction, termination may be immediate. Disciplinary actions will be determined by the Twin Oaks Home Care management. Next, we have the employee handbook revisions, and there isn't attached the employee handbook. On the cell phone section for the employee handbook, text messaging is not permitted during your shift. Our policy is that cell phones must be turned off while you're in patients' homes while you're working. We've had a couple complaints that came in, not recently, but over the last year. And I always, when I get a complaint that comes in, I always save it, and then we'll cover it, in the staff meeting. We'll also speak to employees individually, if need be. But that's the only change on the first page. The second page, there were no changes. Third page, no changes. And on the fourth page, where it talks about transportation, unless you have the required limits, we already covered this, on the hired non-owned auto insurance policy, you will not be transporting patients. There's also a copy of the employee policies there again for you to review. Those have not changed. And then there's also the handout on the employee's rights and duties under the Pennsylvania Workers' Compensation Act. We have given every employee that in the past. I like to once a year go ahead and provide you with a copy of it. That way, if you ever need it, it's there. Next is about remembering it's important to tell an employer about an injury that covers. Now, these are posted here in our office, but it tells you the name of our insurance company that handles all of our claims. And then the next one is workers' compensation information about the law that provides for wage loss and medical benefits to employees who cannot work or who need medical care because of a work-related injury. Okay, that's the employee handbook. You also have everything that you need there. Number 9, cell phone policy, we already discussed that. Number 10, the client's computer policy. We never had a policy like this before, but more and more people are gaining access to the internet, and it's not always young people. Or it could be, we're taking care of a 90-year-old grandma, and her daughter, who's 50 years old, has a computer and has internet access at their home. Employees are not permitted to use any clients or family members' computers whenever they're at a patient's home working. Number 11, the Performance Improvement Committee. We officially started this committee on February 22nd, 2010. What we do is review policies, incidents, infections, complaint forms, safety measures for employees and clients, and we also review other committees. That's our responsibility. We meet once a month for about an hour, same as the safety committee. If you're interested in participating in the Performance Improvement Committee, please let one of our office staff know. You do get paid for the time that you're here, and if we assign you anything to complete, out in the patient's homes, you would get paid for that also. That's above and beyond just working in the client's homes. Number 12, Twin Oaks Home Care. We have a website. It is up and it is running. It's www.twinoakshomecare.com. There is an employee section that's there. You would have to have the password to be able to log on to the employee section. All of the DVDs that we've made, safety DVDs, staff meeting DVDs, all of those are online. You can go back and you can click those, and you have access to those. Any kind of education or training information is there. We've also put a lot of our policies in the employee section, where if you're not sure about a family medical leave, you can go in there, you can click on it, and you can say, okay, this is what a family medical leave is. This is how I apply for it. This is the form that I need to fill out. It's all there. Number 13, the employee HIPAA policy. Just so that everyone has their own copy of it. Your information is also protected here in the office. The client's information is also protected here in the office. You need to be aware of the patient's health information and their rights, and those are listed on that form. And then patient health information, how we disclose that. If you're at a patient's home and you're working, someone out of the blue picks up the phone and calls and is talking to you, and they want information about the patient that you're taking care of, you have to decline that. You can't just give out patient information to anybody over the phone. If someone shows up at the house and they want information on the patient, you need to direct them to the patient themselves if they're alert and oriented. You need to direct them to the patient's family member or the power of attorney. Normally it's a son or a spouse or a daughter. And if you still don't have anyone to contact, or if you're not sure about it, you just say, well, hold on a second, let me call my office and check. You call the office here, and then we can provide you with direction that you need. But there are several reasons as to why we may have to disclose the patient's health information, and you need to be aware of when those can occur. There are 16 of those listed on that page, and most of them have to deal with government authorities, funeral directors, emergency medical care, maybe the Adult Protective Services, organ tissue donation, and we do abide by the state laws regarding that and the federal laws regarding patient information. Okay, that brings us to number 14. The employee picnic we have every year. It will be at Ottawa Park, and this year we have picked Tuesday, June the 15th. We try not to go on other days of the week because they have specials and the park's packed. So if we go on a Tuesday, then we have about 1/4 of the people there. You go, you're not waiting in lines. 50% of the time we get a little bit of a rain shower, but we're hoping that won't happen this year. We are at Pavilion C5. We will meet at 12 p.m. There will be a mandatory staff meeting for everyone that attends. Normally that's about 10-15 minutes long, and then we'll go ahead and we'll eat. Now, as far as the registration goes, the deadline is June 1st. We need to know if you're going to be available to go. It's open to all Twin Oaks employees and their spouse. Also, if they have any children aged 17 and under, we will provide a ticket for all those people in your family. Additional discounted weekday tickets can be purchased at the Twin Oaks office. If you have a boyfriend, if your parents want to go, if you have cousins in from out of town and they want to go, you can purchase discounted tickets. I believe a regular ticket costs almost $30 now. We can get them at almost 1/3 of that price. We will eat promptly at 12, and then we will have a staff meeting. As far as the food this year, Twin Oaks Home Care will provide all the plasticware, paperware, rolls, butter, not just chicken. There's going to be other food there. We're going to provide that, like beans, maybe a linguine salad. And what we asked is that employees that are attending bring a dessert and bring 1 case of pop. It can be regular, it can be diet, it can be generic, whatever you like to drink. If you bring a dessert, make sure that it's enough to feed about 20 people. And we'll go ahead. If you're there early, you can enjoy because the park opens early. Storybook Forest opens about 9:30. You can enjoy the park before 12 o'clock, but make sure you're back at the pavilion for the meeting and for lunch. There are no special requests that are granted on that day. Employees who will not be going to the picnic will be scheduled to work. Employees who state they will be at the picnic and do not attend must return all of their tickets. Employees working that day will still receive their tickets and will be able to use their tickets on another weekday throughout the summer. We do spend a great deal of time, money, and energy on making this day a success. It's important for Twin Oaks employees. We like to show everyone that we do appreciate all the hard work that we do throughout the year. For the most part, our agency will shut down almost all of its services. Okay, that's it on the Idlewild picnic. Make sure you remember to let us know by June 1st if you're definitely in, even sooner than that if you can. The next handout is the employee pay calendar for 2010. And we'll pick one here as an example. Pay period begins January 1st, second line down. The pay period ends January 15th. You get your pay on February 1st. That's how you read it, straight across from left to right. And our last section deals with our insurances, which means I'm done, and I'm going to ask Jerry from Aflac to come in and speak at this time.